Hello and welcome to Hilarity by Default, where we always bring you life in its most hilarious, and we take on everything by default. Of course, I'm Kyle Nash, the student of the game, and you're hearing my beautiful toned voice instead of Demos to start the show. Whatever. We'll pass him the ball because he's the host, and I can't talk too much trash at this point. Demos, how you doing?
I'm doing great. This is how it feels to be on the other end, to be the default of default assault.
There may be those of you who know him out there as former co-national champion, captain for the UCF Knights, NFL player with the, at the time, defending world champion Philadelphia Eagles, and none of that matters because now we are talking to the man who's known now only as artist, Aaron Evans. What is going on, sir?
What's up? I'm happy to be here. It's good to see y'all. Good to hear from y'all. And yeah, what's up, everyone?
Let's go ahead and get off the ground a little bit. Obviously, your football career is what you did first. When we were talking to you leading up to the show, football had been a large part of your life up to now. And then the big transition to art where, I mean, I'm not going to give away the spoilers here because you're going to tell the story better than I'm ever going to. So from football to art, quite the deviation. You come out looking like, well, the true definition of a modern Renaissance man. How'd we get there, bro?
A lot of pain, I guess. But no, a lot of frustration and stuff. But, you know, I have always painted. I've always drawn. It's always been an escape for me. I remember growing up, my mom would always set up arts and crafts for me and my sister to do with her on the weekends. I always resonated with it when we did it. I was known for always doodling in class and always drawing with my friends and all that stuff. And so it was always something I did in the back burner, never seriously, just always something I did. I really enjoyed it. Instead of watching TV, I'd watch YouTube videos on how to shade and how the light works and color theory and, I mean, all that stuff. So when the Apollos ended, I was kind of left in limbo. I was like, I don't know what to do. You know what I mean? Because I have no guarantee of going on and keep playing. I have nothing. And I had some money saved, and I was like, I can paint. I can try to paint. You know what I mean? I can try to do this. So I did it. And I did it. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. This is the most fun I've had doing anything in my entire life. So I just started pouring more effort into it. And then would you believe it? The Chiefs call. The Chiefs call. And instead of being elated and overjoyed, I was sick to my stomach. And I was just like at a loss. I was like, why do I feel like this? Because I've never felt this bad about something. Like, you know, why do I feel so bad? And I was just like, okay, what do I do? What do I do? And I was just praying. My faith is something really important to me. I know it doesn't resonate with everybody, but it does. It's definitely something important to me. And it makes me who I am. I was praying in my yard and I was like, God, listen, I don't know what to do. I was speechless. I was like, I don't know what to do. I was like, I know I want to paint, but there's obvious opportunities right in front of me. So I was just like, I mean, what should I do? Because I'll go play. I was like, God, I'm a stubborn man. I need you to give me a billboard. I need to be hit in the head. I need something to fall on me. I need something clear as day as what I'm supposed to do. Otherwise, I'm not gonna pursue art. I'm gonna go keep playing football.
And then Morgan Freeman knocked on your door.
Yeah, Morgan Freeman knocked on my door. My phone rings as soon as I finish that prayer. My phone rings. I would be sick if it was Morgan Freeman. And that voice would be like velvet, man. But no, my family friend calls me and she's like, don't talk. She interrupts me immediately and she's like, don't talk. I don't know if this is me. I don't know if this is God, but God wants me to tell you something. And she's like, God's going to use you more in art than he's ever used you in football. He's going to give you a bigger platform. He's going to give you more money. He's going to use you to start revival. He's going to use you to everything that you can imagine. He's going to do 10 times more. And I lost it. I lost my mind. I started bawling in my yard. I was just like giant 300-pound man crying in my yard, just in awe. You know, I've never had that happen to me in my life. But I called my agent that night. I ended everything in my life. I imagine a basket of toys or whatever, and you just dump them all out and be like, I want new toys. And I was just like, I dumped it all out, and I was like, I want new stuff. So here I am, 3.5 months later. I'm a new person. I'm a new man, and I'm happier than I've ever been in my entire life.
You can feel the energy on my end. I mean, that's one heck of a testimonial. When I look at your art and I look what you're producing, my first instinct is to just step back and say, "Wow, this is colorful."
Honestly, I didn't start painting and using color pencils, anything until like the last 1.5 to 2 years. I would always just do graphite, just pencil sketching, black and white sketching. So that's part of the reason I do black and white portraits, because that's what I'm more comfortable with. I was watching a Jim Carrey documentary about how he flipped. If you have any idea of who he is and how drastically his personality switched, and how he was like, if you're depressed, that's your avatar telling you you're doing the wrong thing. And I was like, oh. And I watched a documentary it was about color or something, and how he was just like, all I wanted to do was see color. He's like, that's all I could see was color. And I was like, honestly, I have, as vividly as I paint, like paintings pop into my head, like the movement, the color, the structures, the subject matter, and all that stuff. And like, I just want life to be vibrant. And I think that's really like what my goal is. Like I want to express myself in a way that I've never been able to. So that's what color's allowed me to do.
When you look at these pieces, I feel that energy, I feel that positivity, and also feel a sense of exploration. Of course, you kind of won me over when you did a piece with Marvin the Martian. And yes, I do agree that Marvin the Martian is better than anything you'd find in Area 51, even though there are about, 300,000 people that are about to Naruto charge.
Keep up with that. There's a lot more than that. I think there's like 3 million people now.
Oh, great.
I hope they all show up too.
For the greatest massacre on American soil since.
Did you see that the flight patterns have increased for Nevada? People are going. Like, it's not like people are showing up.
Oh man, what are the kind of messages that you do want to put out through these portraits and paintings?
So, like, one of my favorite quotes right now, one of my favorite quotes in general, is "Specialization is for insects." Human beings are designed to be dynamic. We're designed to be multifaceted. We're not designed to be stuck in a box. I think that's where a lot of turmoil comes from, is because we are so elaborate and so wonderfully made. And like, I think it's really important to understand that. And I guess when this such a drastic flip has taught me is that you are limitless. You are as limited to what you think of yourself. You're as limited to what you think that can happen. Because if you think that nothing's going to happen, well, nothing's probably going to happen. But if you think that you can do anything, and you can go paint murals for UCF, and you've never spray painted before in your life, or you just think I'm going to wing it, you can do it. Just go do it. Like as Nike says, just do it. You can do it. And I guess that's really the message I want people to see, is that quit limiting yourself to the negativity in your world, to your failures. Each failure you have is a stepping stone further up in the ladder of life. Don't look at it as a step back. It's literally a step up. You're like, oh, I learned that lesson now. I can move up. So it's constantly like 10,000 editions of the light bulb before the first light bulb was actually successful. That's really the main message I want to come across, is that like you can do anything. That is so important, to not limit your mind, because if you put it in a box, you're going to be in a box.
I feel like if you ever wrote a self-help book, I would definitely buy it. And I think I know a good artist who can do the illustrations.
Yeah, I could maybe do it. I do want to write a kid's book. I actually have I've been drawing up designs for the last year for a couple ideas. So maybe I'll include all these messages in it.
That's, and hey, not for nothing. The retirement plan thing was something that I said. And of course, seeing that, 95 is so prominently displayed in a lot of the stuff you do communication wise, and realizing that's when you were born and that's when I started high school. Perhaps I should take that retirement advice more seriously now.
Well, listen, man, you can get out as much as you put in, right? You guys are putting in your love and your heart. Keep doing it. It'll grow. It'll keep growing.
We talk about color a lot being used in films and required viewing, especially, in our series of Hitchcock videos, like that. Is there a particular style or message or statement in the color, or is it just something that comes to you as I see it? Because I see the Knights mural, which is amazing. Don't get it twisted. I love it. But when I think the gold and black, pink doesn't come to mind, and yet it sure as hell works.
No, it's so honestly, some of the inspiration came from, I was watching, I was actually praying. I was like, listen, God, I don't know what to do. I was designing the murals, and I had designed the whole mural, but the color scheme I had designed, I didn't like. And I was sitting there, I was like, I don't like this. I know it's not sitting well with me. I want it to be poppy and vibrant. And I was like, listen, I need some inspiration. And I was like, okay, sometimes it's really important to rest and to step away from everything, because that's when your inspiration, because if you get away, your subconscious will run regardless. So I was watching Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which is an absolutely, oh my God, it is so well made. Really, it is. The guy did a mural in it, and the color scheme in it was something that really inspired me. I was like, oh, I want to try that color scheme. I really like it. It definitely complements it. I think there's some elements of it that kind of show to it, but I really wanted to have my own spin, and I included all the Knights elements and the Orlando and all that. But yeah, that's where that inspiration came from. But a lot of the time, most of the time, it's purely the color I'm feeling when I look at the canvas. Whatever my emotion is, I guess, at that time, whatever it is, that's the color I pick. So if it's red, I put a lot of red on there. If it's blue, I put a lot of blue. So I just go from there. And then usually that's the best, is when I get into the flow state and the canvas, it just happens. Honestly, I zone out. I start singing. I start dancing. I start crying. It's a wild time.
So, I mean, and the can drop as you sign it was a moment of true relief and joy, I can tell, because I can only assume that murals are a lot of work. But taking nothing from it, you have your other painted pieces that go particularly well too. I mean, at this time, and granted, it's always going to change because you're always going to keep creating. Planning for success, you're always going to keep creating. Is there one that stands out for you so far in your mind amongst your collection that you would want to point people to, that say, "Hey, this is one where it actually went particularly well as far as I'm concerned"?
The jazz piece, that's a 4 foot by 5 foot canvas. It has Miles Davis, Dizzy Gillespie, Charlie Parker, and John Coltrane on it. That was actually a commission piece I did for a coworker of my mom's who'd been following me all the years through college and the NFL. He is a UCF alumni. He is a jazz musician himself. And he commissioned me just in support of me starting this new business, and how much it inspired him to start playing his instrument again, because he'd kind of gotten lost in the monotony of just an everyday life, an everyday career. He kind of stepped away from playing his instrument. And he's like, "You've really inspired me to play again." And I was just like, in that piece, he really wanted the bluesy vibe. He wanted to capture the essence of jazz music. And that piece was I spent like 40 hours painting it. Wow. And it was just for me, that was one of the more like intensive pieces of artwork I've ever created in my life. I really, it was stressing me out. My mom would come in and be like, "I don't know how I feel about that." I'm like, "What do you mean you don't?" I was so sensitive about it. But I spent so much time on it, and I really do believe it came out splendidly. And I'm thrilled with the product at the end. Another one that I really enjoyed that I did, trying a bunch of new stuff, was the Muse piece. That's a 4 foot by 4 foot canvas. It pictures Picasso staring at the woman he fell in love with at the end of his life, at the end of his career, end of his art career. And it was to me, it was profound. I was researching Picasso, and I have a Picasso print in my room from his blue period. It's a woman just sitting down. It's very abstract. But the colors in it kind of signify why the pink is so vibrant, is like how her love sort of overtook his blue world. And I loved it. I just love how vibrant it is. I love how intense their expressions are. And I really enjoyed painting that piece.
Well, speaking of your Muse piece, I'm very curious. What is your muse?
I would honestly say it's my faith. I mean, I can confidently say that. my soul has never been this calm in my life. I struggled through depression and anxiety through high school. I was on antidepressants. I was on antidepressants when I got into college. You wouldn't really know that if you looked at me now. But no, I was severely depressed. I remember so many times I had to leave school. I'd be crying all day. It was weird. It was a weird time in my life. And I always was like pleading with God. I was like, I don't know what, like, there's more to life. There's more to life. There's more to life. There's got to be more to life. And like this despair I feel. And literally when he spoke to me, like those 3 months ago or whatever, it's like the whole world changed. It's literally like the world was like here, and it went whoop, flopped on top of itself. And I was like, whoa. I mean, I see people differently. I see colors differently. I see plants differently. The air smells different to me. Everything, I feel like I'm here in the moment. It's visceral. It's crazy. But honestly, that's really what inspires me. I'll be praying through a lot of my pieces because I still have anxiety. So like when I'm painting someone's face and then like it doesn't look right, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm sitting there stressing about it. But yeah, that's definitely something that really inspires me on a regular basis.
You mentioned, your struggles, and as somebody who talks to you on occasion, at least once or twice a week, I wouldn't have had a clue.
Yeah, no one did. I was really good at hiding it. Most of my mental episodes, my breakdowns, was in the privacy of my room. I mean, hours be crying in my room. I just wouldn't tell anybody. Just keep it to myself. For me, what I discovered through the whole search, it's deeply rooted control issues, and I would attest to. I think a lot of people, that's what it stems from. If you're really brutally honest with yourself, Jordan Peterson, he talks about Pinocchio a lot, and how the metaphor in the story is that he goes to wherever that paradise place is,
Pleasure Island,
yeah. And he has to face his demons. He has to face the darkness within. It's so important. If you want to be all that you can be, you got to face whatever's bad inside of you. You got to look it in the eyes. Avatar: The Last Airbender. there's a scene in that. He's in the cave and there's like this centipede creature with a changing face, and it's like he comes face to face with himself, and it's like whoa. The yin and yang. It's the all of it. Like the darkness exists in the light, and the light exists in the darkness. Like they're the whole thing.
That seems to be a theme that you find in a lot of fantasy, the idea of going into a cave and facing yourself. I mean, we've seen it, as you mentioned, Avatar. The first thing, I think probably the best example would probably be the Empire Strikes Back, Luke Skywalker going into the cave. Yeah.
Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter. I mean, Harry Potter, Voldemort's part of him. Like they are literally soul connected. They're Horcrux, like the Horcrux thing. Like they're soul connected. It's like a parallel to like the dark, like the most intense darkness you can find. And Harry senses it because he's part of him. And he's like, wow, I'm not that. Yeah, that part of him. He had to kill that part of him in order to emerge out of it triumphantly.
I'm glad we went to other examples, because when you said The Last Airbender and said, whoa, like it took my mind to Keanu Reeves, and that just wouldn't be intimidating to me. So I'm glad we went to other examples to kind of test that.
No, man. Keanu Reeves as The Last Airbender in full John Wick form. I would pay to see that. It'd be better than the M. Night Shyamalan version.
I love dogs. I'm safe.
How much of your football experience with UCF and the NFL feeds into your arts?
I would say it feeds into it a lot. Football shaped me and shaped who I am. College broke me so many ways. Like it broke. I mean, each year I had a different type of breaking, like just mentally, like in those workouts in the heat of the summer when they're making you run until you think you can't run anymore, you break and you're like, oh, I got a whole nother gear. I don't know if it's Aristotle or Plato or whoever said it, but it's a man does a disservice to himself if, I'm paraphrasing, a man does a disservice to himself if he doesn't explore the wonders of his body. And that's something that college taught me. And like, it taught me how tough and how like resilient we are, so that's something that resonates and always kind of plays in my background. It also plays in my background how difficult it was to work to get to the level I was at playing, and the consistency that was necessary to do that, because you don't have a an earth-shattering moment each day. It's a slow process that builds up into two pivotal moments. And that's what I'm experiencing with the art. It's the same thing. It's the constant building my portfolio. It's constantly each day painting something in order to refine my craft just a little bit more. It's like doing an extra sprint at the end of a workout. It's the same thing. It's just different. But yeah, those are the things that still resonate and that are completely applicable now. Like the starving artist stereotype. I think that happens a lot because a lot of artists, I mean, I don't want to call people out, but like they don't work. They don't work consistently. And like they're extremely talented, they're extremely gifted, probably more so than I am, but they don't work. And like you have to constantly work. You have to sacrifice yourself and work and grow and constantly learn. And like if you do that and build your portfolio obsessively, you're going to get somewhere. I've only been doing this for a few months, and I can't even begin to fathom the success that I've had. It's to God be the glory, but it's wild.
So the mythos of the starving artist, that artist that is like, I'm not inspired yet, and is waiting for just the right moment.
No, shut up and paint.
Shut up.
No,
I think that was a Bob Ross quote.
Shut up and paint.
Shut up and get over yourself and paint. You know how many times I didn't want to work out? I wasn't inspired to work out. I didn't feel like going to weights 80% of the time. Yeah. But I went anyways. I knew they were going to run me into the ground. I knew it. Like I knew what was going to happen to me. And I knew I wasn't going to like it, but I knew I was going to come out better for it. You know, and like if you don't feel like painting, go paint. Go paint. Yeah, anyways. If you don't feel like drawing, go draw. You get over it and go draw. And like you will build those muscles.
The only thing I would say that I have to personally throw in as a fellow big man, you were more scared of weights than running under frost. I can't help you there.
Oh no, see, I loved running. I don't know what it was. As I gained weight, I guess I didn't like it as much, but I was like, I could run for days, man. I don't know what it was about it. I could just run and run. All the other linemen were like, bro, slow down, stop running. I'd be like, bro, I'm running. I remember my freshman and sophomore year when I was like 265, 270, I would be running with the linebackers. I'd be keeping up with all of them. I was quick. I had a little bit of hop to me, but not anymore.
But you still look like an Avenger superhero. I'm just saying, listen, when
I start lifting again, I'm definitely going to look like one. Think about how profound words are, you know, like really think about it and how, like that's like a superpower. Like if you use your words effectively and articulate yourself, you can paint a picture. I mean, you can literally explain exactly what you want if you just articulate well, you know, and you're really intentional with your speech.
I would liken that too is something I heard because I played trombone for consistently through college. What they would always say, if you can sing the note and you can hear the note, you can play the note on the instrument. That's what comes to mind to me when you say that. It's a very interesting concept.
As a painter, like you're creating illusions. Everything you create, the depth you create, the light sources, all of it's an illusion. So you have a really powerful instrument. Your words, your paintbrush, whatever instrument you're using, your body. You get to dictate what everyone sees. You dictate it. Like they only see what you want them to see. So you better be mindful of what you let them see, you know?
Perception is everything.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it really is.
That element of control that then you command during the artistic process that solves for what you were talking about before. You mentioned that struggle was surrounding control or lack thereof, if you want to put it that way instead. So what I hear you saying is basically that that there's a control that you enjoy. I mean, I'm not saying world domination as much as I made you a Marvel superhero. I'm not
listen, Linda. My goal is to shake the foundations of the earth. I want to make a tidal wave. I'm trying to make a splash, man.
Aaron, I gotta tell you, we do not allow terroristic threats on YouTube. So
no, not like that. Not like that. It's all love. Tidal wave of love, tidal wave of positivity, tidal wave of positive change. That's what I want. I was watching Bob Ross like 2 nights ago. And he said, you know, that scripture that says God can move mountains. You know, if you have a faith of a mustard seed, he can move a mountain. And like, I know it's metaphorical or whatever. Maybe it's literal, perhaps. But Bob Ross said on his show, he's like, with your paintbrush, you can do anything. You can even move mountains. And I was like, whoa.
And when you believe him, it's amazing.
Like, well, no, but think about that. But like, really think about that.
Yeah.
Stop everything that you're doing and think about that. Like, that is crazy. You can literally move mountains with your paintbrush. That smacked me in the head when he said that. I was like, whoa.
The Bob Ross painted Matrix cinematic universe. I can see this happening.
That would be beautiful. It would be the most beautiful Matrix cinematic universe ever created.
See, that's a good direction too. But like when he said Bob Ross right upside the head, all I could think was Bob Ross saying "right the face." That was right the face.
Life is so much more. Oh my gosh, life is crazy. Life is crazy. This is crazy. I'm so thankful.
No, it's hilarious by default. Get it right.
See, this is crazy. That's a negative direction. It's hilarious by default, Aaron. Right?
Okay, whatever.
So, Aaron, what's next for you? What's your next challenge in the art world?
I submit. So UCF Valencia downtown campus, they're building a fitness center. They reached out to me about doing murals in their new fitness center. So I submitted a bid last week. I'm waiting to hear back from them. The Florida Man Music Festival reached out to me about doing a live painting at their festival in November. I have a couple other UCF alumni people reaching out to me about doing other similar murals. I don't really want to paint the same mural for them. I want to paint something custom for them. So that's all in the works. I got another art show in Orlando I'm submitting some stuff for. It's going to be posted there. I got invited to be in that. So that starts August 3rd. I'll be putting some pieces in there. And there's got a bunch of commission orders coming in. So I'm just trying to balance everything out right now. I'm really riding the wave, feeling it out each day. More and more exciting things keep happening. So I'm excited to see what the show does, just keep watering this plant.
No, man, we appreciate having you on. It's also very nice that we've done a lot of comedic stories about this, but I think it'll be really nice to have a positive Florida man story on our show.
Yeah, for sure. Florida man's got that stereotype right now. I mean, but rightfully so. Those stories are whack. I want to meet these people, honestly. I mean, well, where I'm from, I can see them walking down the street. So
that should be your next piece. You just make it Florida Man, and you hit it from an angle that nobody's ever looked at it.
What do I not include in that piece? Rather,
I mean,
well, you're painting murals. You're gonna need at least one as big as a football field. I mean,
wow, that would be a big mural. I'm game. Something else I was thinking about. I was like, I always thought God made me so big to play football. What if he made me really big to paint really big things?
That's great.
How do you follow up? God made me big to make big things. I mean, damn it.
But listen, I'm telling you, we're moving mountains, and you guys are right there with me, and I'm so freaking thankful for this. Really, I am. Like, I can't begin to express. I'm thankful. I'm really overwhelmed.
No, we're very thankful that you came on. You're always welcome to come back. Yes, I am stealing hosting duties back from Kyle, and I'm just
a worker. You just took over your shift.
I think it was about time to clock in. So, Aaron, you're always welcome to come back. And I know that there are going to be at least a couple of episodes coming up featuring you right here on Hilarity by Default that I think are just going to be absolutely perfect for you. I can't wait to do them. And Kyle, where can we find you, buddy?
Of course, you can find me following Aaron Evans' Twitter. That is @Evans_66, even though he may not remember it.
Yeah, I got it.
And we'll see what he's doing next with his art. But of course, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter @the SOTG. You'll see plenty of pictures lately of one Taj McGowan and Michael Kalubi-Ali from Jaguars camp. So that's a good time all the way around.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure Mr. Evans doesn't have a problem with me plugging that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely not. Plug him again. Do it again. Do it again.
You mean Michael Kalubi-Ali and Taj McGowan at Jaguars?
Oh, yeah. The best Jags players they got.
That's right. It's almost like Mufasa.
Remember, in honor of TJ.
Remember Tosh McGowan and Michael Klubliali. That's right. I just got back from the African savannah. If you didn't know, talking
Really?
Lion King. That's right. We'll have you check that episode out. It's a good time.
He fought Scar and won.
Wow.
It's hinted.
Cheers.
Scar. Thank you. I was prepared. Anyway, on Instagram and Twitter, the SOTG. Find me on Facebook as the Student of the Game. Check out my writings in good times, including Tosh McGowan and Michael Klubliali on sportsmediapass.com. The season's about to kick for the NFL, where you'll see my action there for the Dolphins Wire. Just did a piece on a very interesting prospect that they could use to bolster their defensive line. And don't worry, I already talked about plenty of prospects in general there in the offseason. It's a good time all the way around. Perhaps a certain large man in the middle who didn't end up getting drafted by the Dolphins, but instead the Cowboys. I'm just letting you know where I've written, Aaron. I'm telling you. And then, of course, check out my good times on Hilarity by Default.
And of course, you can find me on hilaritybydefault.com. Fun stuff practically every day. On Twitter, Default Hilarity. And on Facebook and Instagram, Hilarity by Default. Now, Aaron, you have been so inspiring on our show. I'm going to give you a very, very, very rare honor and have you drop some inspirational bombs to close our show off.
Follow your heart. And I don't mean in some fairy tale sense, follow your heart. I mean, find your darkness. I mean, find what makes you tick, what is making you upset, what is making you sad, what is making you happy, and you face it and you stare it in the eyes and you learn from what you need to learn from it. You take the good and the bad from it and you learn those lessons, and then you follow your heart, whatever that may be, whatever that path may be. Life is but a vapor. That's it. That snap right there. That's it. This is it.
Beautiful.
Pursue it, and that's it. Balls to the wall. Go get it.
There's another great man I'll quote. Show them why you're there. One Aaron Evans.
You said
the message wasn't for me, but that is words from Aaron Evans.
mm-hmm.
Show them why you're there, and while you're at it, you should buy a painting. You know, I know a website where you can do that. So
buy a painting. Listen, if you want a commission, I love to discuss with my clients, my fans, my customers, whatever you want to call yourselves. I prefer fans, my friends. I do customs. You tell me what you want. You tell me your favorite color. You tell me what you're thinking, and I'll do my absolute best to serve you in any way I can. Your money, your time, all of it, it's extremely valuable to me because I know how valuable my time and my money is to me. I want to give you the best product possible. I want you to be happy, and I want you to have something that you can cherish for the rest of your life, a completely custom piece of art. That's really important to me.
Beautiful. All the links are going to be in the descriptions down below. And remember that life is inspirational and yet still hilarious by default.
There's your bomb.
Yeah.